strings to hold me down.
Oh, hold your horses there, Pinocchio. Where do you think you're headed?
Leaving school, going to the NBA draft. I'm going to make myself some money and feed poor Geppetto.
Listen here, you're not even a real boy yet. You've only had 1 year at college. Now come on, I'll walk you back to your dorm.
Not a real boy. I played in the Final Four. I started. Everyone else is making cash off old Pinocchio. Time for me to cash in.
But if you stay in school, you can make your university much richer. I mean, you can learn to be a real boy.
You sound just like my athletic director.
What? Look, I don't know what you're implying, but they didn't hire me to make you believe that staying in school is better than making millions. I lied, Pinocchio. It's bad. The AD's got my family. You can't leave the school, you can't.
Sorry, Jiminy. I'm sick of doing what everyone else wants me to do. Hi, diddle-a-dee. It's an athlete's life for me.
Hello? Who is this? Mr. Emmert? You leave my family alone. You don't touch them. I swear I'll get him to play. I swear. Just please relax and watch a box score. It starts right now. Hello? Oh, God.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward for box score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danets in Milford, Connecticut, of course. There is a huge show put together, alone by Todd Fritz. Great job. Gave us quite the NBA draft preview. Now, Paulie, I'm looking for an all-timer here. Out of the soon-to-be drafted players, who have you seen the most personality out of?
Personality? Decker's a character, but Kaminsky is next level. He had the spotlight on him for a couple years. Kaminsky from Wisconsin, and he's a goofball.
Yeah.
And when you're a goofball and you're 7 foot, it's like a double goofball. He's all awkward and goofy except when he plays. And but he's like, you forget sometimes, despite their height, that they're 19, 20, 21. And when I'm a goofball now, and I'm twice their age. So I mean, I love Kaminsky. He's a complete. I root for him to be a good player just because of his entertainment value. Let's put it that way.
Of course, great guy. Well, the soon-to-be drafted Karl Anthony Towns joined the show today and talked about his favorite player growing up.
Len Bias.
Really?
Yes.
How did that happen?
I was at a camp, and I was always hearing his name, but I was at camp. I learned more about his story. I was really young, and watching him play, I was really intrigued with him at Maryland, and I just loved the way he played and the way I was growing up playing. My dad always wanted me to be versatile, so I saw a lot of myself in him, and also it's just a great story to know how to stay focused on the game of basketball.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I'm not sure exactly who I thought he was going to pick. I thought maybe a fellow big man like a Tim Duncan or a Kareem or a Hakeem Olajuwon, or maybe like a LeBron or a Steph Curry.
Or someone who played when he was alive.
It was
Even Iverson, maybe?
Yes, it was just that was very interesting to me. I know the rest of the guys in Dan, we were very surprised of all people. It's a great story, obviously, and a tragic one with Len Bias, but with his age and when Len played, that was I would never have guessed in a million years that Len Bias would be his favorite NBA player.
Yeah, it's very odd. I looked it up in a moment. I was like, he's 9 years. When he was born, Len Bias had been dead for 9 years. But remember, he's part of a YouTube generation that with 2 clicks can watch almost every game Len Bias ever played on YouTube. So when he looks him up, you can watch it. When we were kids, if we looked up Pete Maravich, we couldn't watch any Pete Maravich videos. You just heard about him.
You had to go to a book.
You had to go to a book and look at a picture of him like this.
But go to a library and a book.
It's pretty fascinating that a young guy would say that. It got a lot of reaction.
Yeah, what is this printed word? All right, Duke's coach Mike Krzyzewski joined the show today and talked about his role prior to Thursday's draft.
Basically, once a kid leaves and they finish school and they choose an agent, we get in, we develop, we're on their team. We're on that young man and his family and the agent's team. And whenever they need us for something, to do an interview, to call somebody, to follow their workouts, and then try to get feedback of how they did on their workouts. But you work with the agent because the agent is he's the advocate.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly like what Dan said. He said, I don't know if he said to you guys, if you guys ever want to move on from here, he's going to do everything he can to help you land in a great spot. He's going to be all on your team.
When did he say that? I didn't hear that.
Oh, sorry. He
that
said
too.
exactly the opposite of that. He said he would burn you in effigy, maybe burn you alive if you ever even thought about talking to him. Not that they were in the same position as Jahlil Okafor, but that's nice of Coach. Although it did strike me, Coach K is like, I work with their agents. I'm like thinking about like that seems like an improprietary relationship there. And Coach K, isn't he supposed to be above this, Frank? That sounded Calipari-esque.
Well, another major story taking up a lot of ink these days is Tom Brady and his conquest for justice against the NFL. Now, McLovin, fill us in. You're a paralegal. What happens in court today during an appeals process like this?
Now, as a paralegal, I never actually reached the court process. In fact, all I remember was I kept a log of where each box was sitting. So
I got a question. What does the para mean in paralegal? Does that mean not legal? Does that mean not really lawyer?
I think it's assistant.
Like paramedic is sort of like
it's like not a medic,
a medic, but an assistant.
My mom's a paraprofessional, so she's not quite professional yet.
Right.
She's an assistant.
She handles herself in a very professional
It sounds like
way.
JV.
Assistant to a professional.
Yeah, I guess so. An assistant to an actual. She's not on the level of teacher. She's assisting a teacher, but
Right,
to
a
call
para. So
paraprofessional.
it's obviously
Some type
the
of
Latin
assistant or
root
associate.
parallelable.
Yes. We'll buy that.
Parallelable.
So yeah, that clears up the Tom Brady case for everybody out there.
Well, of course it does. It brings all sorts of light to it. Oh, speaking of light, Seton, are you going to hold a candlelight vigil at the house, or are you going to go down to the courthouse and scream for Brady's exoneration?
Yeah, as soon as, I'm a little torn whether I should be in Manhattan with Tommy, but I think instead I'm going to head up to the greater Boston area and be with my people up there and hit the candlelight vigil that I believe should be starting. I've got about 3 hours to get there to make sure I can get in and get a good spot, so.
McLovin, what is the result of the appeals process going to be?
My hunch is that there's no way Roger Goodell can let him reduce that suspension because Goodell's got so much riding on the line.
Certainly not to
if he
zero.
lets it down, how does Goodell get it down to 2 or 0? There's no way he could do it, right?
When I picture this thing, Tom Brady, I really believe, could go in with a fantastic piece of evidence that says he had nothing to do with it. Like, he could have those two dudes say Tom had nothing to do with it. He could have papers, lawyers, everything, and Roger Goodell would still stand his ground.
He's got Tom Brady has no chance of winning.
I agree with this.
0. Because there's a reason that the burden of proof is on the prosecutor and not the defendant. It's because it's impossible to prove that you're innocent. That's why someone has to prove that you're guilty. You can't say where were you, unless you have some amazing alibi on where were you this night, but that has no bearing in this case. Tom Brady is going in there to not show why Roger Goodell was wrong, but to prove that he's innocent. He's already set up to lose. He's going to fail. You can't.
You're also appealing to the person who punished you, and if they let you go, they're saying to the world, I was wrong, not him. It was me.
Right.
And why would anyone choose that as an answer at the end of the day? Because it's really tough for anyone to say, hey, turns out I was wrong and I wasted everybody's time.
If you're someone that has even a shred of integrity, you would do that.
All right, well, thank you, gentlemen. Hopefully all the viewers now have a para-understanding of what's going to happen. All right, coming up, let's gamble on our future. You know what's not a gamble? That's right, it's the Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. It can tow a boat, haul a trailer, climb a hill, plus it's guaranteed a winner every time. Going to Vegas to check out BKB this weekend? Play the Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. It's even money. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram.
We don't need Pete back in the game. Pete did great things. Can never take those away. But you can take away the possibility of him being reinstated. If it's called a lifetime ban, then make it a lifetime ban. And there was no bigger Pete Rose fan growing up than me. But he lied. And lied again. And still lied.
We're back here on the Box Score. Guys, it seems the annual Pete Rose conversation is back with ESPN's report that Pete bet on baseball as a player. Now, McLovin, as an insider, how common is it for athletes to bet within sports?
Whoa. You want me to name names? Throw some people under the bus?
I think it's the media, I think it's sports writers and sports media people that do all the betting, not the athletes.
I honestly don't know any athletes that bet other than Pete Rose. If you said name an athlete who you think might have placed a bet, I would be totally blind guess. I've never even heard rumors.
No, I've never even heard of it.
Well, obviously Paul Hornung and those guys back in the day in the NFL, but I can't think of.
Yeah, any guy would have to.
Oh, and the BC betting scandal.
That's a long time ago. That's 1981. But yeah, betting is much more common, it seems, these days with sports media, which is also not illegal, but wherever you work in the sports media, you agree not to ever bet on sports, but it seems like guys do a lot. You can't bet on sports if you work in sports media? You're not supposed to. I mean, if you worked at Sports Illustrated, you sign in part of your deal. You can't do your job objectively if you have money to bet on sports. If you worked at ESPN, DirecTV, covering sports, I would assume you'd lose your job.
Really? Those lines are clearly getting blurred, though, with leaps and bounds of just like huge blurry lines. But yeah.
But actually, though, like I know as a fact that people
I was told when
openly talk about betting at Sports Illustrated, for example, and it's no problem.
Yeah, I know, but you're not, as an objective journalist, first of all, from an ethical standpoint, you can't bet. Because then you could never cover a sport. If you have $50 on the Knicks to win and you're covering them that night, what are you thinking about? You're thinking about something else besides covering the sport.
Not only that, then if you lose the bet, you might be more likely to rip them worse than you normally would because you just lost a lot of money.
Even if you can be objective, it takes you out of position. But it seems like Seton said, these days it seems to be okay to talk about money you're putting down on sports.
Also, the irony is the bettors know 100 times more than anybody else. Absolutely. Like if you bet at a game, you're honed in on that game in a way no other journalist. The journalists I've been in your press box, half the journalists are reading Twitter about The Bachelor. The other half are like on FaceTime with their kids. The ones who bet on the game, they're the ones who are still.
That's true.
Well, the highly ethical baseball writer Peter Gammons called in today and talked about turning a blind eye to Pete Rose.
I may be guilty here of always wanting to believe that he didn't cross that line. Because, I mean, I make no bones about it, I really enjoyed Pete. I used to love to go in there, especially when he was manager. Sit in his office, he'd be cleaning his bat because he wanted to see the mark on the bat every time he hit a ball, foul ball, whatever. I mean, it fascinated me, all the things that he would talk about and the things I would learn from him and how much he loved the game. So that, I may have I may be guilty of turning a blind eye to it.
Yeah, this has been a story for a long time, obviously. I was 11 when Pete Rose got banned from baseball. And I just think that the more that it goes on, I think the more people are just sort of... The people who really care about this as a legitimate and important story are getting to be fewer and fewer, especially as the popularity of baseball fades. And then this is, a long time ago that this happened, like a lifetime ago for some people. It's like, okay, yeah, he bet. Oh, yeah, now he did bet. Of course he bet while he was a player. Like, when you just start to look at all of this stuff on paper, and none of it makes, anything he said doesn't make sense. Okay, the dude was betting. It's the same story. It's just changing in ways with certain admissions or new evidence but at the end of the day, it's like we're in like a whole steroid generation now that's taking over, and now some betting scandal.
I always found most fascinating, I was thinking about it just a minute ago, if MLB and the investigation of Pete Rose had this piece of information 30 years ago, man, they should have dropped it because they would have buried him even more because that was the one line of demarcation of Pete Rose. Well, you got to look at his playing career, and there's playing career. If you stop, the day he stopped playing, if you stop, he should be in the Hall of Fame. Why wouldn't MLB drop this piece of information if they had it? You'd assume it came from them. It had to be leaked by them or by someone who had access to it. The fact that this comes out so many years later, I wonder the motives of the people who leaked it.
If you could just get past that lifetime part of the thing and just kind of, I wonder, I would think that the majority of people, sports fans or not, or whether you're covering the media or not, would be like, he's paid his due already. As a manager, he betted, a player, whatever it is. It's like all these years. He's the
How do you pay your due on a lifetime ban?
I know.
It actually makes, the whole purpose of a lifetime ban is that to scare you from doing something because you literally are out.
And then it sets the precedence, for in the future. It's like, well, but still, it's been, I don't know, for me, it's just been so many years, guys, the all-time hits came.
You had said the Black Sox scandal is probably the other big betting baseball scandal, right? Story. And that's even still debated with Shoeless Joe Jackson, and people are like, you should, you gotta know, don't worry about him. He wasn't betting, he hit this. And people are still debating that from 1919. So, I guess the Pete Rose thing isn't going away anytime soon.
Nope. McLovin, Dan seems to take a harder stance on Rose than most. Is that because of his Ohio connection or because of his own gambling past?
Well, I don't know if he takes a harder stance, but Dan is really informed on this story because he does know Pete Rose. My sense, you guys, he's known him for years and knows him as well as I would say any member in the media.
He's almost been involved in this story at certain levels, to the fact that he hung out with Pete Rose once in, '86, and they talked about betting on a game, and then Pete's been on a bunch of times.
Many times.
We've broken some pretty big news.
Absolutely. We had
on
Jeff
the Dan
Idelson on, the president of the Baseball Hall of Fame, and he told us that they choose to keep him out of the Hall, and they don't have to, which at the time was complete news. I remember that interview specifically, and then
him betting on his team to win every night came from the show.
Dan
too.
Patrick show like 06, 07,
Yeah.
and that was a big story as well. So we're kind of intertwined with this, and Dan sure is, especially. And I don't think it is too big of a deal that he grew up a big Pete Rose fan, but it definitely makes him more engaged.
There's an emotional connection there. You can hear it. He's always emotionally engaged, which I like, actually.
This has been emotionally engaging. Coming up, the Danettes do some soul searching of their own. More engaging stuff. We are back here on the box score, America's new favorite game. Know Yourself is a spin-off, an old classic game we play here. Well, this time we've mined for knowledge and our very own danpatrick.com. These are bios the guys have filled out regarding their favorites in sports and the show. So, hey, if they filled them out, certainly they should do well in a little game we call...
It's a bio we filled out 8 years ago.
No, we redid them.
Self. All right, first up, the curator of the danpatrick.com website, McLovin. What did you say was your most memorable DP moment on the show was?
I'd say breaking my glasses. I think I would have put down.
Was it breaking his glasses?
I picked the wrong one. Not good.
I'm sorry, the answer we were looking for was trash talking with Brooke Lopez in the middle of his interview with DP.
That was a good one.
Next up, Paulie. Paulie, you listed your favorite interview in show history. What was it?
Like history. Now the only tough part here is it current show history or the ESPN show history? I'm gonna go with the first thing that went in my mind, Bob Knight and Bo Schembechler together.
Was it Bob Knight and Bo Schembechler together?
Hell yeah!
Nice.
Congratulations, sir. Next is Seaton. You listed your 2 all-time sports heroes. Who are they?
I think I can guess these.
I would probably have put... Man, Steve Balboni's got to be on there. And Steve Balboni and Tony Hawk.
I'd like to go for a steal.
Yeah, me too.
Can we all try to steal?
Sure, why not?
I'm gonna guess you said Dan Marino, Ricky Henderson. That's my guess.
Ricky Henderson has to be on there.
I'm going to go with that Ricky Henderson, Balboni, all Yankees sports heroes.
Fritzy?
Ooh, I'm going to go Ricky Henderson and Greg Nettles.
Boom, nailed
Oh,
it.
those are all good guesses. Are any of them right?
I picked the wrong one. Not good.
I'm sorry, not the right combination we were looking for. Ricky Henderson and Tony Hawk.
Oh.
That's got to be, you know what? There's no way that I only put the two of them. Steve Balboni has to be in there. He goes in every single list of my sports heroes. It's a bunch of crap.
It is a bunch of crap. All right, and finally,
Ricky Henderson
Fritzy.
is my sports hero.
You named your favorite mascot of all time. Who is it?
Favorite mascot had to be probably, I'm going to say the San Diego Chicken.
It looks
Name another.
The Philly Fanatic, but the Baseball Bunch, I used to love that show, and the San Diego Chicken was always
I feel
on the
solid.
baseball.
I think
I think you got it.
Yeah, he got it.
Was it the San Diego Chicken?
Hell yeah!
Yeah, of course it was.
Congratulations. Yes, it was the chicken. And the row that knows themselves the best is, well, it turns out you tied, so everyone knows themselves equally. All right.
Nice.
Hey, and don't forget to watch the box score on
Fritzy knows
danpatrick.com.
himself very well.
That's a real thing, and they have bios on there. You should read them. All right, this is the box score, and we are taking a break to remind you But the Ram Heavy Duty, with its best-in-class towing torque and horsepower, it doesn't need one. It continues on and knows itself. It's #1, baby. In all categories. Guts, glory, Ram. Welcome back to the Box Score. Closing up shop here at the Saloon. Jordan Spieth is having himself a hell of a year. He's got 2 of the majors in his back pocket. He's heading down to the Bahamas with friends, so good for him. Now, Paulie, it seems like every young golfer is being compared to Tiger Woods. Is it more so in golf with Tiger or more in basketball with Jordan?
You know what? It's more like looking for a replacement than comparison. Because I've never seen it where they said, wow, this is the next Tiger, he's going to have the effect. Because I think that would be pretty naive. Tiger and Jordan are similar phenoms of marketing and names and persona and sales, both with Nike. Don't forget about that. Nike made both those guys who they are, but they had to be great as well. But Jordan Spieth is a lot more low-key, fun guy. Seems like a guy, and the guy's kind of a bro. Not going to get in trouble. Very, very wise. I think he's 21. He comes off as if he's not 21 anymore. I think he's been doing this for a while. He's a pretty intelligent dude.
Well, Spieth joined the show today and talked about almost giving away the U.S. Open to Dustin Johnson.
When I was in the scoring, watching Dustin finish after he hit those 2 incredible shots into 18, that's what was crossing my mind was, did I really just give this away and give him a chance? And it was not a good feeling. I mean, it was nerve-wracking watching the finish to that tournament, and then it was just, give me a chance. Just give me a chance tomorrow. I want to go one-on-one tomorrow, and then we both have a chance to kind of make up for it. And it was an unfortunate ending to a really exciting finish, but it's just sometimes the way it is, I guess. I mean, it's been that way in the past for tournaments, and just fortunate to be on this side of it.
Can we have a nicer group of superstar athletes on? Can't anybody be a jerk anymore?
Right.
What happened to Divas? He was basically hugging Dustin Johnson after. Everyone's too nice. What is this? What's going on?
I hear golfers say that, though. I ran out of holes. Like Louis Oosthuizen was on a run. He was just going to blow past these guys, you'd think, if he had 3 or 4 more holes. Dustin Johnson gets that last hole, gets an opening, but then he ran out of holes. And you hit, double bogey at 17, and you have a par 5 to save the day for yourself. Think if he has that double bogey at 18 instead of 17, it's over, John.
Yeah.
It's over, Johnny. Hey, Seton, which 21-year-old would you rather be, Jordan Spieth or Justin Bieber?
Oh, God.
Oh, Jordan Spieth.
Over a dislikable douchebag?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's entirely possible they're both total douchebags, but one of them is extremely public about it, and I'm not all that into it. And even to be be on tour and making music, and if you take all of the things that Justin Bieber has going for him and put them on a piece of paper, I would almost always select that piece of paper.
Yeah.
Except that, he's Justin Bieber.
It's everyone's sick of
I don't know.
that.
I just couldn't do that.
Douche.
Well, Spieth, great get by Fritzy. Speaking of, like Spieth, Todd is celebrating a big golf victory.
Fritzy hit a shot.
A
driver. I said I could out-throw Fritzy's golf shot.
Whoa!
Nice. That was well struck.
Got a second.
That's 52 yards? Oh, 62.
We got a ball game.
Oh, I don't know if I can beat that.
62. 62.9.
You look like a cricket player.
It's right there.
58-6.
Oh, it was a great game.
Yeah, it's pretty sad and humiliating that this could even be a contest, and the fact that I think I only beat him by 2.5 yards. That to not be able to hit a golf ball a lot further than anyone can throw it is.
It should be
it's pretty
noted,
sad.
though, that it took you a lot of swings
It did.
and Dan a lot of throws to get up to the point that you beat him.
And
He beat you
yes.
5 other times.
There were a number of times where he threw it several yards further than I was able to hit it with my little ground balls up the middle. And then I was trying it on the tee, and I was putting the ball just on the grass using a driver, and barely beat him on the one that counted. But if you added up all the scores, I think he probably would have threw it further than I hit it.
Well, it was a nice check swing, much like Seton's hero, Steve, Bye-Bye Balboni. And Fritzy, were you using the back of the driver, or was that the face of it? Was that a left-handed club?
It was actually, I can't make any excuses. It was actually a left-handed club. I initially picked up a righty one, and then we noticed I had the wrong one. So no excuses. That was an actual lefty driver with that pathetic display of golf.
Well, that's all right. Still, congratulations. Now, who is on tomorrow?
Chris Mannix will join us as we get ready for the NBA draft Thursday night. Rich Eisen will talk a variety of topics, including the latest with Brady and his appeal. And Ernie Els, two-time U.S. Open champion, will join us as well.
Big Easy. All right, thank you, gentlemen. We're back tomorrow, same time, same channel. The podcast is available on iTunes or at podcast1.com. Cheers.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching The Box Score. Holy cow!